What's going on, people? I'm the Real Mossy and this is a Battlefield 3 console review. Let's get started. It's no secret that Battlefield 3 has been one of the most anticipated video games of 2011. Does Battlefield 3 live up to the hype? We'll find out. I'll be reviewing the single player and multiplayer separately since they really are two entirely different beasts. This is the review of the multiplayer portion of the game. Click the link at the top right corner of the screen for a single player review. Multiplayer is the cornerstone of the Battlefield franchise. Every single game in the series has provided stellar multiplayer experiences, and this is no exception. I'll start off by saying that this is the most beautiful looking online FPS on the consoles. Having said that, there are some texture issues when you get really up close, and also some aliasing issues, especially on the shadows. I mean, the shadows have jagged edges if you look really closely, but this is not a big problem. The audio in many cases is more impressive than the graphics, as you're able to hear every single detail of the battle. The only complaint I have with the audio is that sometimes the ambient noise is too loud for you to actually hear the details of the battle. The gameplay is balanced and forgiving, especially if you're a beginner. There's a good mix of maps, with wide open areas for long range and vehicular combat, and closed indoor areas for intense close quarter gunfights. The gunplay is smooth and responsive, and the player movement is more fluid than ever. However, there's always room for improvement in the responsiveness and fluidity department when it comes to Battlefield, as sometimes there's a bit of a lag between button presses and the actual on-screen action, especially when reloading. Thankfully, this is pretty rare and as such, not a game breaker. The vehicles are extremely powerful, but that's balanced out by the skill required to actually use them to your advantage. The sheer variety of guns, attachments, gadgets, etc. is mind-blowing and will take endless hours on the couch to unlock them all. The ribbons, medals, and dog tags give you bragging rights and fuel the competition. The variety doesn't just stop at customizability, it carries over to the actual gameplay. There are literally hundreds of different ways to approach this game. You can specialize in only flying jets and doing bombing runs on tanks, or you could be a solitary foot soldier infiltrating behind enemy lines with just an SMG, or you can just hang back and reinforce and support your squad with medkits and ammo packs. These are just a few examples of the many ways you can play this game. You can be a jack of all trades or a master of just one. The sheer variety of gameplay provides a challenge, however, and that is learning how to be effective while playing in different ways. This is where Battlefield 3 may have faltered a little by not providing tutorials of any kind, especially for vehicles. Most games use a single player campaign to teach the player how to use the vehicles and equipment in the multiplayer, but Battlefield 3 doesn't do a satisfactory job of this, especially when it comes to choppers and jets. If you've never flown a chopper or jet in a Battlefield game before, prepare to crash, and then crash again, because there's a bit of a learning curve. A flight tutorial would have been an excellent way to make all aspects of the game accessible to newcomers. Since there is no tutorial, all you new recruits will now have to learn how to fly these things on your own. Another thing missing in Battlefield 3's multiplayer is the ability to join unranked matches. Unranked matches allow newcomers to practice and learn the ropes before heading to the real battlefield, but you can't do it yet. You can go to the server selection screen and filter out servers to your liking, and it does have a filter for unranked matches. But when you search for an unranked match, you'll find that there are no servers. Also, there aren't any infantry only servers up yet either, but I'm sure they'll have them up soon, so that won't be a problem for long. There's also the occasional issue of minor lag and lost connections, but they don't happen too often, so it's not a big deal. The destructibility is not as full-fledged as you want it to be. There are buildings and walls you should be able to take down, but you just can't do it. Alright, let's move on to the battle log. It sounds like a great idea. I can't see too much about it yet because I can't log into the damn thing. It's really inconvenient that it's not included into the actual game screen, so you don't have to log in and start a web browser to see the in-depth stats. The sign-up process is pretty damn confusing and unreliable. You have to make an EA account and tie it to your gamer tag or PSN name. Once you figured out how to do that, you'll still get a message saying that you're not allowed to log in. I think they could have made this a lot easier by just including the stat tracking as a module in the game. Because of the presence of the battle log, the in-game stats are pretty bare bones. They don't even show you your win-loss ratio. This really should have been included in the game, along with the option to exit a game between matches instead of having to wait for the next match to start. These are pretty minor, fixable blemishes in an otherwise excellent game. Battlefield 3 is a great value for the money, as you'll have hours, if not days and months, logged in trying to reach the next unlock. Solid gameplay, stellar audio, great graphics, and mind-blowing variety make this game a must-buy for all FPS multiplayer fans. I give the multiplayer portion of the Battlefield 3 console version a 9 out of 10. For the single-player review, please click the link in the top right corner. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm the Real Mossy. Tell your friends about me.